little feeding and trust building with my wife's bearded today. We're going to start out with some glove-free hand petting. You can see she's not real fond of being handled. Not too happy of a lizard. And then we're going to come in with a gloved hand and feed. This is a big part of glove training, them learning the difference between handling and feeding, one, and two, them learning to trust your hand and associate some handling with food without you running the risk of getting bit. See how she went after the ungloved hand? Eventually she'll make the separation, but I haven't worked with her much. Oh, you dropped it. See, this way you're mixing a positive experience with your attention. This is a rescue bearded dragon. We haven't raised her, so she's not too used to being handled. She's a case of Reptile bought as a present for a kid that a kid wasn't able to take care of. With your bearded dragons and your iguanas, I take a different approach than I do with my monitors or big snakes. With monitors and big snakes, I completely separate handling with feeding in the beginning. They learn to recognize the gloves mean food time, time to bite, and when the gloves are not around, they are not getting food. So eventually they're not bitey or aggressive when the gloves aren't around. And then you accent this with handling them regularly, and eventually they become docile. You can see that with my videos with Blue. With your bearded dragons and your green iguanas, or your geckos, or like leopard geckos, tokay geckos, crested geckos, bearded dragons, Chinese water dragons, you know, your less aggressive herbivores or omnivores, I do a little bit of this with. This is a little different approach. Bare hand, no food, little bit of pets, reward with a treat from the tongs, with a gloved hand. Eventually they recognize that the bare hand never brings them food. They get used to being touched, but you're mixing it with a positive experience. Your iguanas and bearded dragons are a little more intelligent, so you can do this with them. They'll make the separations faster than a monitor would. But I wouldn't call that an intelligence thing. It's more of a aggression thing, a predatory thing. Your bearded isn't an active carnivorous predator, nor is your iguanas, where your large snakes, your boas and pythons, and your large monitors like your Niles, your savanna monitors, your black throats, they are aggressive predators. So making them docile requires a little bit of separation from feeding time to handling. Whereas these guys, I do it a little differently. Different approach for the same result. Similar technique. This one's kind of dead. Better eat it. Here. So yeah, a little bit of beardy training. I also do the 30 minutes a day, every other day to every day. Every other day is fine. Some people have busy schedules, but every day's a faster track. As you can see, just in the time that I've been doing this, she's gotten more accustomed to me touching her. So there's a little bit of beardy training. I do the same thing with young iguanas. And like I said, geckos, Chinese water dragons. So thanks.